This is going to be a video for using JSON and exporting JSON in the database Postgres. So if you haven't already, create a database called TestDB. And the way you do that, you right click on databases, you choose database, and then you give it a name, TestDB. You should, in the definition, make sure that the template is template 0. Okay, and then you do save, which I'm not going to do because I've already created it. Once the database has been created, find it in your list, right click on it, and choose Query Tool. Okay. I've already pre-written the queries, and they are available on the blog if you want them. I pre-wrote them so you wouldn't have to watch me type. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a table that has a JSON data type. So I have this table called create table JSON test. It has a test ID, serial data type, which is an auto numbering thing, which will be the primary key, and it has a JSON field called test. So I will create this. Just hit the lightning bolt. Down here it says it was successfully created. So the next thing I am going to do is insert some records into this table. So the records are in the form of JSON documents. Notice there's a quote at the beginning and a quote at the end. The values inside are all double quoted unless they're a number like the 1, 2, 3. So there's a test name, and that's the key, and then the value is test 1. There's a test number, which is the key, and the value is 1, 2, 3. And there's a test date with a colon, and it gives the current date. And each of the fields is the same. So we're going to insert those 3 tests into our new table. And again, it should tell you that it's successful down below. So these are ways of querying the data that we just put in there. This is going to return just the test names. So I will execute that, and we'll see that if we open this, so you can see the results, come on, that we have test 1, test 2, test 3. Return just the test names of each of the tests. Notice the syntax there. It's test dash 2 greater than signs and then the test name. It's basically a pointer or a lambda function to get those out. So I am going to create an array that puts each element on its own row. The trick here is JSON each. It's a built-in function. Test is the field that we're using from JSON test. So if we look, again I have to expand that. It has test name, test 1, test number 1, 2, 3, test date 2019, and then it goes to test 2, etc. And each field is put into its own row. Okay. This one returns only the keys, not the values, but just the keys. So it's like returning the field names. And we got test name, test number, test date. We did distinct because otherwise it would have repeated it for as many rows as there are. JSON object keys is the built-in function. Test again is the JSON field. And then from JSON test, which is the table that it's in. So this we're going to do to show you can do some other things. I'm going to count the test number from JSON test. And there are 3 of them. You can do, this is just to show you, you can do all of the aggregate functions. You can count, you can average, you can total, you can sum, so they're all there. Alright, and this is the last thing we're going to do And this is to take a simple SQL query and output it as JSON. We're doing it as oh, I just lost the term of what this is. It's a type of query. Basically, it's a subquery, but it's done as a table. I'll remember it. Anyway, it's a legitimate query. We're doing with J as, so that defines the subquery as J. It could be whatever. J is just a variable. We do the query. We're selecting the first name, last name, person name, position name from person, from employees, so we're only going to show the employees, and we are joining that with employee position and with job position. So when I run this, oh, I know why this does not work. Because I need to move this to Community Assist to run this one. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to open a Community Assist. So I'm going to open a query tool with Community Assist. I'm going to paste that query in there, and this time it will work. So it outputs a thing if you want. So I'm going to click on this. When I double click on the row, it gives me this thing where it says OK. I can do a Control C and do OK. And then if I go get a text document, and I'm using Linux right now, so I'm going to get a text editor, and I'm going to paste. And you can see, let me get this a little bigger. It creates an array anyway of, that's not what I wanted to do, of JSON for each record that was returned by the query. What I'm looking for is the font to make this a little bit bigger. I wonder if I can just do Control Plus in here. Now, I think there's a zoom. No, that just made me a new document. Anyway, there it is with the JSON. I'm going to finish the video with this. You should always finish with me fumbling around. So I'm going to close that without saving. And we'll close the video.